Hello fellow film collectors. Today I'm featuring a label on the channel that I don't think I've ever featured before. The label is Severin Films. They're a US based label, but they have just started releasing again in the United Kingdom. I have watched from afar for many years while Severin have released a whole catalogue of great stuff over in the United States, and I just haven't been able to afford to import it all here. And to my surprise, at the start of this year, it came out that they're going to start releasing some films in the UK, which they had done before many years ago. They didn't release a lot of titles here, but I'm hoping with these two new ones that I'm about to talk about that we start to see a lot more releasing over here. So the first of these two releases is Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, which is an absolute crazy wild ride of a film. It has this beautifully designed slip cover, there's two discs here, there's a 4K and a Blu-ray, tons of special features across all of them. So how can I try and describe this film to you? It's about a murderer who committed these murders as a child. He was kept away from society after committing those murders and has been indoctrinated and treated to become a normal member of society while the scientists have done tests on him. He ends up escaping from this captivity, so he's out and about in the wild, and of course his mind starts to turn towards murder again. There's an awful lot to like about this film. It's very grimy, it's very sleazy, and it was quite the controversial title back when it was released in the early 80s. It was one of the video nasties here in the United Kingdom, where it was banned for release unless some severe cuts were made to the film to cut out a lot of the violence and the gore. And what's almost as interesting as the film itself is some of the controversies behind the making of the film and the distribution of the film, because one of the British distributors ended up going to prison for illegally releasing this on VHS uncut at the time. And there's a great documentary in the special features going into his life, the mystery around him. He's since passed away, although some people think he's either still alive or that he was assassinated because of releasing this film uncut. One of the other controversial things about this film is regarding the special effects, all of the blood and the gore, because it is done quite well and it is quite convincing at numerous times in the film. It has Tom Savini, who is like a genius when it comes to these practical effects. He is credited on the film as some sort of special effects director, and after the release of this film he wanted to distance himself from it and said he was never involved at all, which is very strange because there are pictures of him on set. There are witnesses saying that they saw him there working on the film, yet he denied any involvement in the film at all. The film is quite clearly a low-budget film, and the way that it was shot doesn't lend itself necessarily to being the most beautiful presentation on a 4K disc. And I haven't seen any of the previously available Blu-rays to compare it to, so I don't have any information in that regard, but I was pleased with how it looked and sounded on the disc. So it's a fascinating film to be released by Severin, both on and off the screen, and I had a great time with this release, I really did. And it just makes me hope that Severin can release more of this kind of stuff over here. I should point out that the disc, I don't think it is exactly the same as the US disc. It seems to be missing some of the extra stuff that is on the US release. So do bear that in mind. Perhaps it's because of licensing or censorship, I don't know. But not everything is included that is on the US disc. And of course it's got a different name, because in the US it is just called Nightmare. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait long for more from Severin because they released something else at around about the same time. It's the film Bad Biology from director Frank Henenlotter. This is from 2008, and it's really a film that's very hard to describe because it goes to some very strange places, and also some places that I'm going to get flagged on YouTube if I start talking about them. Let me just say that it's a film that is very much concerned with sex and people's relationship towards sex and how it manifests in their personality, in their physicality. So there is sex, there is nudity, and some very strange depictions of genital parts in this film. I can't say much more than that without getting this video flagged with YouTube. So what I will say is go and have a look at this film, have a look at the trailer, read some descriptions if you want to find out more. But this film shocked me, and it made me laugh and it horrified me, and it was just a great experience. I can safely say that in terms of all the thousands of films I've watched in my life, I have never seen anything quite like Bad Biology before. The 4K presentation on the disc didn't particularly amaze me in any ways, though I hadn't seen this film before, so I don't have anything to compare it to. And there weren't any issues with the image. It just didn't blow me away in any respects, and perhaps that's down to how it was shot and how it was lit. Nevertheless, I had a lot of fun watching the film and absorbing all of the special features. There are multiple audio commentaries on here and an absolute plethora of extras on the Blu-ray disc that's included. If I just flip this over, you won't be able to read everything on the back here, it'll be too small, but just look at how much is included on the Blu-ray. There is tons to get into if you want more of this film, which, as I said, is quite a unique one, and I'm very glad that Severin has released it over here because I'm not sure how else I would have got to see this film. So between Nightmares in a Damaged Brain and Bad Biology, I think this is a great start to Severin Films beginning to release here in the UK again. I really do hope we see more. I hope these two aren't just an exception. I would love to see some regular releasing from Severin. So if it sounds like your kind of thing, do go and support them. This goes for any of the boutique Blu-ray labels, but if you see them doing things that interest you and you are able to support them by buying their discs, then it would be great if you would do so. And I think if more people buy these in the UK, perhaps it will let Severin know that there is a demand for these kind of weird and wonderful films in the UK. On that subject, if you'd like to buy either of these two discs, I'll include some purchasing links in the description of this video, which if you use, it helps support this channel at no additional cost to you. So thank you very much. If you'd like some more 4K recommendations and reviews from me, just click the video that's presented on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching as always, and I'll see you soon.